All right, Vanquish, we have a problem. The new H10 axles actually have a couple design flaws in them. First one I'm going to show you is that it does have a lot of slop because of these ball joints in the design. And you can see that there's a lot of movement in there. And it doesn't look like a lot without the tires on. But once you put your tires on and wiggle this, you can tell that there's a bunch of movement. But the next design flaw is actually really bad. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about it yet. But the front ram actually can pivot in here, so it's not keyed in, and when it pivots the wrong way, you see that catch? You see how it's catching? Look at that. So right here, when this pivots, so when you go uphill and this pivots out like this, it has a design flaw where it catches. You see that catching right there? And it catches every single time. Right there again, it's catching. So this is catching right here on the front of the axle housing. So this is not good. I'm going to try to figure out if I'm going to remove material from the plastic axle housing. Man, it really gets bound up. So when you are sitting flat, it actually works just fine. But as soon as you start to go up an incline and that pivots back, see it pivot, and now it's catching. It's snagging right here on the front part of the axle housing, and that is going to wear and tear on your servo. Eventually, it will wear the plastic off, but I really expected these to be flawless. And, you know, it catches again. I mean, that's catching really bad. So flat, again, driving flat, no problem. As soon as you go on an incline and it pivots that back, look how that starts catching. So we've definitely got to figure out what we're going to do on this build to go ahead and alleviate that issue. Eventually, I guess it'll just wear the plastic off, but it is a design flaw. Now it's tilted back so bad that the button head screws are catching on the link mounts. So this pivoting in here is actually should have been keyed in a way that it keeps it perpendicular to the front of the axle, but because this is allowed to go ahead and pivot in different directions, it starts causing all kinds of clearances. So especially when you go onto an incline, it's going to roll back every single time. So I just want to put this video out there real quick for you guys and let you know that Vanquish, we have a problem. All right, guys, I think I got the issue solved. I did have to do quite a bit of grinding on this. So the predominant areas I had to take off are the leading edge right here, and then this area right here. I tried to flush it up as much as possible to make it look as nice as I can, but you can now rotate this completely on both sides, and there's no interference whatsoever. Not exactly what I wanted to do to my brand new axles. We're going to go ahead and get this completely assembled back together, and then we'll make sure that it's not binding, and we'll do a little left and right action on it and see what we've got. All right, guys, I got it completely reassembled on the front, and we have no issues. It doesn't matter which way I rock this now. There's no rubbing issues on the axle anymore, forward or backwards. I highly suggest if you have these axles, you're going to want to take a look at removing some of this material to go ahead and relieve that area so that you don't have binding in that front steering link. The other thing I'd like to tell you guys about is that if you do over tighten these 4 screws, you will create pressure on that ram and create more tension than is needed to be. As long as these screws are just loosely put in, these are aesthetic. These screws are actually what hold this together. So these right here, just make sure they're in, but make sure you do not over tighten those 4 screws. So this is a fix for the front H10 axle from your Vanquish. So if you bought a set of the axles or you bought the H10 Optic, you're going to want to go ahead and take a look at removing some of that material so that they will turn freely without binding up on you. So don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, repeat. Hit that subscribe and like button for me and ring the bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.